Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Rita, and today I will be reading for you Genesis chapter 16, part 15. No. Chapter 16, part 5, final. Okay, there we go. God's angel finds Hagar. But Abram should have protected Hagar because she was like his wife, and she would soon become the mother of his son. Sarah was cruel to Hagar, so Hagar ran away. Hagar ran away. The writer used the same Hebrew word when the Israelites ran away from Egypt. The writers in the Old Testament mentioned the angels of the Lord 58 times, and they mentioned the Lord of God 11 times. The angels appeared as men, but people know them later as angels. Some people think that God himself appeared here. Hagar was on her way to Egypt. The angel called Hagar by her name, and he also called her Sarah's maid. God knew where Hagar had come from. Similarly, in Genesis chapter 3, he knew where Abram was, and in Genesis chapter 4, he knew what Cain had done to Abel. Hagar was honest, so she said that she had run away. 3 times we read that the angel of the Lord spoke to Hagar. It shows that God really cared about Hagar. Everything that he said was really important. God was sending her back to Sarah. That would be difficult for Hagar. She needed to receive confidence from God that it was right. God's promise about many descendants would encourage her. This was a wonderful promise from a woman who was just a slave. The angel promised a son to Hagar. The son would be called Ishmael, and that name means God hears. God had heard Hagar. God did not promise that Hagar would have relief from difficulties, but Hagar knew that God would be with her in the difficulties. Ishmael would have a tendency to make war. He would not behave in the way that other people expected him to behave. He would be a wanderer. He would do whatever he wanted. Hagar recognized that it was an angel. When she realized that, the angel disappeared. Hagar said, "You are God who sees me." She knew that God cared about her. The well is always there. Whenever people see it, they can remember God's care. That was also true when people saw Ishmael. Hagar had a baby, called Ishmael, for Abram. Abram named him. Maybe Abram was protecting Hagar in that way. The writer does not mention Sarah here, although Sarah intended Ishmael to be her son. God can take a very long time to carry out his promises. Abram's age here makes us remember that. This chapter shows how God cares about those that are suffering. Hagar was just a slave who was suffering, but God listened to her, and he took care of her. Hagar believed God's message, and she obeyed. Amen. Whoa. I never read that much, but I feel so proud of myself. I wanted to get this chapter done for you guys, especially you guys. That was all chapter 16. Next video will be all about part about 7. Oh my gosh. A part of chapter 17. Okay. See you guys later. That was Genesis chapter 16, as you all know. Amen.